Okay, here's an update on the Lotus Elan suspension refresh. Let me see, where we left off was the surprises we found. I kept finding from the rear suspension with the cut off strut tubes and so forth. That was very exciting, very educational. Now the back end has I'm still waiting for those to come back. And in the meantime, I started on the front end, which we'll get to in a minute, but let's just get up to date back here. In the back end. There we go. Okay, so the new stub axles are in the differential. Those are to match up to the CV joints. A lot of cleanup has taken place back here. The amount of grease, the amount and age of the grease is just stupendous, just amazing. And this is what they call the handbrake tree here. I have it wired up right now, but it's two arms come out of that central tree, and then this is a cable attaches here, and it rotates this way, and it also rocks back and forth this way, and pulls the handbrake on, which even though there is a handbrake, there it is. It's a disc. There it is. It clamps the disc and doesn't do much, but it's there. It's all kinds of tales of woe about the handbrake function on these. So that's where we're at. All new. This is all new mounts, hardware. Cleaned things up, painted some stuff, didn't paint other stuff. Can't really see the towers with the brakes where they are right now. There we go. The towers have been cleaned up, and I put a coat of rust proof paint on them. Rust stop. And up front, well, here's the front end apart. Here's the control arms. This is the upper ones, the short ones, and then the lower ones are long. You can see the grease on these guys. They're just greasy, grimy. Here's the bushings. I pressed all the bushings out already, so they're just here. And this is the backing plate. This is the brake caliper mounting block. This is a felt seal that seals up the grease in the seals the back side of the hub bearings. Keep the grease in somewhat. This is the vertical pinions, vertical strut. I don't know. I think it's vertical strut. Sits like this in the car. And then there's the ball joint on top, and a trunnion on the bottom, which is really cool. I'll show you the other side, which is all cleaned up. But this is old and dirty. This is the hub here. And back side of it is nice, greasy, dirty. The bolts there are where the brake rotor bolts on. This is the steering arm. Comes off this ball joint goes to the rack. And then this bolts onto the back side of this arm over here. That's how that all works. Here's what it looks like, all ripped apart, cleaned up somewhat. Again, I did some painting on here just to keep these from deteriorating any further. There's a brake caliper hanging. There's this hole here in the bottom. This is a hollow box that the top of the suspension mounts here. The shock goes up there, and then junk flies in here and supposedly comes out here. How well that works with a tilt, let's see if I can get this at an angle. You can see it tilts towards the rear. So what I did is cut another hole. Made another hole there. Hopefully it'll clean stuff out. I took quite a long time cleaning that stuff out of there. So here is what it looks like, all cleaned up and put back together. Here's the new rack boot and the tie rod end. Put brake hoses on it a while ago. There's a new upper ball joint, new shock. It's an adjustable shock absorber, and it's height adjustable as well. Let's see if we can highlight that here. It's the adjusting knurls here. So it's a height adjustable suspension. I guess I just put it in the middle for now, and then we'll take care of the rest of it later. That's a new brake rotor and the cleaned up caliper. There's no pads in it. That's another piece of news. So that's what it looks like cleaned up and put back together. Pretty nice. Yeah, so the biggest surprise taking this front end apart was the brake pads. I took the pads out of the one side. You can see I have one side apart, one side together. That way I can sort of keep track of where things go and so forth. But this is one of the brake pads, and it has a problem. Yeah, it just fell off. I took it out to clean it, and I picked it up, and it just came off like that. It's just lovely. So we went and got new brake pads, funny colored brake pads. And I thought, you know, if those are like that, I don't know, I don't trust the rears, and so I got rears as well. So yeah, we're still going. We're still visiting Ray. I visited Ray twice in a week at RD Enterprises because I just like going there and spending money. This is neat. Here's the service manual for this. This came with the car. Thank you very much, Al. It's been handy. It's been very, very handy. Lotus Elan workshop manual. And here we are. Oops, I changed the page. This is torque settings and so forth. And then section C was the front suspension. It should. There we go. And it has this neat exploded drawing. Very convenient, very helpful. Let me show you. The trunnions are bronze, and they're painted when they paint stuff, but when I was cleaning this up, it came out like that, and I thought, why not? Just leave it like that. So we've got a nice semi-shiny bronze trunnion down there. That's kind of cool. The sway bar will attach here when that goes back on. And I guess, the other surprise is the other educational part is these poly bushings. Getting those pressed in. If you look, it's a little hard to see. But if there's a flange on each end. Here's this one. So you got nut washer and then poly flange. And there's one on the other hand, and you have to on the other end, and you have to press those through. And they say warm them up and it'll go easily, and I was trying and I thought, okay. I mean, first of all, this is an ice cold garage. Not ice cold, it's about 50. So it's, you're working here somewhat. But things are cold, and it's dead of winter, and it doesn't help. And so I said, okay. And I went in and I boiled some water, and I threw them in there and came back out and went at it. And sure enough, they pop through with it. Once they're warm, they're a little more pliable, and they go where they're supposed to go. That's pretty neat. And the other thing I did that with was this steering boot. This end down here was very, very unwilling to go over the end of the steering rack. It was just giving me fit. So I said, okay, let's boil it. And I boiled it and tried it again, and sure enough, it stretched over and much more easily, and I was able to clamp it in place. So that's an education too. Lessons learned on the Lotus Elan. It's funny because this is a lot more of a project than I was anticipating. I thought I was just going to throw some shocks on it, and here we are, all ripped apart. So that's an update. New brake pads, new other bits, shiny hardware. The car's gonna not know how to act once it sits back down on the ground. Hopefully someday soon.